Her name carried softness, yet her life was anything but soft. She was 24, living in a rented apartment in Lahore, far from her family. Her parents still believed she was the good daughter, innocent, hardworking, perfect. But inside, Aisha was tired. Her days were filled with office files, her nights with silence. Her friends moved on, cousins married, colleagues dated openly. But she remained unseen, untouched, unchosen. Backhand index pointing right. What do you do when loneliness becomes heavier than hunger? Until one night. Until Arman. It was her friend Sana's birthday. Aisha didn't even want to go. I don't fit in these parties, she said. Just 1 hour. Please, Yar, you never enjoy life, Sana begged. So Aisha went. The music was loud, laughter everywhere. She sat in a corner, pretending to scroll her phone. That's when he noticed her. Why so serious? A voice broke through the noise. She looked up. A tall man, confident smile, eyes that burned with charm. I'm not into parties, she replied. He chuckled. Neither am I. But everything about him screamed otherwise. Backhand index pointing right. Funny, isn't it? Sometimes the people we should avoid are the ones who sit down right next to us. His name was Arman. He was older, maybe 30. He spoke with ease, like the world belonged to him. They talked about movies, music, work stress, loneliness. For the first time in months, Aisha laughed. For the first time, someone looked at her as if she mattered. You're different, Arman said softly. Her heart clenched. Different, the word she had longed to hear. Backhand index pointing right. It's always the words we crave the most, that trap us the fastest. As the night grew older, the music slowed. Couples danced. Arman extended his hand. Dance with me? Her heart screamed no. Her loneliness whispered yes. She placed her hand in his. It was just a dance, she told herself. But his touch burned, his eyes locked with hers, and suddenly it wasn't just a dance. Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes the smallest step leads straight into the storm. The party ended. They walked outside under golden streetlights. You're not like the others, Arman whispered. Her lips parted. Really? Yes. You're real. You don't pretend. Backhand index pointing right. And emptiness is dangerous, because someone can fill it with whatever they want, even lies. By the time a taxi dropped them near his apartment, her loneliness had convinced her this wasn't recklessness. This was connection. Inside his apartment, silence was heavier than the night air. Relax, Arman said, brushing her hair back. You deserve to feel alive. Her heart thudded. She knew what was happening, yet she didn't stop it. Loneliness disguised itself as love. Desire disguised itself as comfort. She let herself fall. Backhand index pointing right. But the fall we choose in one night can take years to climb out of. Morning sunlight exposed what the night had hidden. Clothes scattered. Mistakes smelled in the air. Aisha sat up, covering herself with the sheet. She turned to Arman, searching his face for warmth. But Arman was already sipping coffee, calm, distant. So, you'll be okay finding your way back? He asked casually. No tenderness. No promise. Just emptiness. Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes the cruelest heartbreak isn't in being left, it's in realizing you were never wanted in the first place. The streets felt endless as she walked home. Each step dragged her deeper into regret. At her apartment, she collapsed on the bed. What have I done? She whispered, tears spilling. The mirror showed a stranger. A woman who had betrayed herself. Backhand index pointing right. Regret doesn't scream. It whispers in every reflection, every silence, every tear. Days passed. The guilt didn't. At work, she smiled mechanically. At night, she cried silently. She even texted him once. "Can we talk?" His reply cut deep. "I don't do relationships. Hope you understand." Understand? She didn't even understand herself. Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes one short message can destroy whatever is left of your self-worth. Aisha started avoiding people. Skipped dinners, ignored calls. She replayed that night endlessly. If only I had walked away. If only I had left early. If only. But, if only, is the cruelest phrase in the dictionary. Backhand index pointing right. You can't rewrite yesterday, no matter how many times you bleed for it. One evening, her mother called. "Aisha, you sound tired. Everything okay?" "Yes, Amy, just work pressure." Her mother sighed. "We're looking at good marriage proposals. Maybe soon you'll find someone who takes care of you." Marriage. The word stung like a wound. How could she tell them she no longer felt pure? She forced a smile into her voice. "Inshallah, Amy." Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes the lies we tell our parents are not to protect ourselves, but to protect their hearts. After Armin, she avoided men. Deleted apps. Declined invitations. But loneliness grew louder. At night, her bed was colder. Her journal became her only friend. "I thought I was finding love," she wrote. "Instead, I lost myself." Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes the deepest scars are written in ink and tears. When the weight became unbearable, she saw a therapist. "I made a mistake," Aisha whispered. "Now I can't forgive myself." The therapist listened calmly. Then asked, "Do you believe one choice defines your entire worth?" Aisha's voice broke. "Doesn't it?" "No," the therapist said gently. "You are not your mistake. You are the strength you show after it." Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes healing begins not with answers, but with someone reminding you that you're still human. Therapy wasn't magic. The pain didn't vanish overnight. But slowly, Aisha breathed again. She joined yoga. She met friends for coffee. She rebuilt fragile pieces of herself. Her worth wasn't in her past. It was in the choices she made now. Backhand index pointing right. Sometimes strength is simply choosing to stand up again, when all you want is to stay on the floor. She never saw Armin again. But his memory lived like a scar. Not to shame her, but to remind her. To remind her never to mistake attention for love. To remind her never to let loneliness choose for her. To remind her that real love values, protects, and stays. Backhand index pointing right. Because sometimes the most painful chapters are the ones that teach you who you really are. Months later, standing before the mirror, Aisha touched her reflection. "I forgive you," she whispered. The guilt hadn't disappeared, but forgiveness had begun. She made a promise. "Never again will I let loneliness write my story. From now on, I write my own." Backhand index pointing right. And maybe that is the real ending, not the night she lost herself, but the moment she found herself again.